What's up, Twitch and YouTube? It's MurphyD55 coming to you with another episode of The Northern, and today we got a great panel of 4 streamers on Twitch from the Madden community. We got my guy DK Nice in the top left-hand corner, mainly a Madden guy, but he also messes with 2K, probably a little bit of MLB The Show too, now that it's baseball season as well. He's a veteran of the podcast. Appreciate you coming on, DK. Thank you, my dude. We got GoatGeezy on the right side over there. Looks like he hasn't run a comb through his hair today. Did you know? Did you know that your face cam was going to be shared for this GoatGeezy, or is this something you thought was just going to be a voice type podcast?
I was not informed that. You said it was supposed to be the pants down, and now it's not. So.
Oh dang! Let's go. So Geezy is nude from the waist down, but he is of legal age, so it's okay as long as he doesn't stand up. Geezy, appreciate you coming on here again. You were, I think, on the first episode of the Northern, and my guy KingKov on the bottom here has probably the record for most Northern appearances. He is.
It can't be close, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
It's stupid. I'm actually gonna stop letting you on here for at least a month so people can catch up. No, yeah, you need to go and have like a life outside of streaming, and I'm taking away all your free time.
That's what DK told me yesterday morning. Like, dude, what do you do all day? I'm like, oh, you're saying it, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're making yourself far too available, but I really do appreciate it, Kov. Yeah, man, and really, like, how many more sports takes can you have? I feel like you must be dried up by now. So we'll see what you come up with today.
It's either like I give a take, and we got people getting rowdy in here, literally.
Yeah, literally.
And some others disagree with it. So whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, sounds good, my dude. And we got NickOC at 6:23 a.m. right now. Your time, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Holy cow, man! What what the hell? Why did you don't normally wake up at 6 a.m. do you? Is that a thing?
Nah, dude. Since I moved here, like. Well, like at home, I used to stream all night. So honestly, it's not really any different now. Like now, I got a normal sleep schedule now, so I'm up at like 5 a.m. now.
Yeah, wow, that's kind of wild. So you got the early morning hours. I guess it probably gets like super hot by the middle of the day there too, so it probably helps to be up. Yeah, man. But Nick, appreciate you coming through, man. Nick is actually our resident expert on all things NBA. He's been studying up for this. We're going to get into some very detailed questions, statistics, sabermetrics, all that stuff. Nick's going to be the go-to guy for that. I'm trolling, but I appreciate you coming through, man. Thanks so much, chat, for the hype train to start things off. You guys are all legends. But Nick's coffee is definitely spiked, says It's Don in the chat. I think you're probably right about that. You can see all the fallen cases of beer in the background. I would be surprised if it wasn't. But yeah, oh for sure. But boys, let's get this thing rolling here. We're gonna start off in the top left-hand corner with my guy DK Nice, and I'm gonna put the first topic up here. This is gonna be primarily an NBA podcast, but we also did have a whole bunch of great college basketball that just wrapped up last night with Kansas winning the national championship on the men's side. DK, did you get a chance to watch any of the March Madness? Did you have a team that you were pulling for or a college that you normally root for?
Yeah. So I had 2 different teams. Of course, my main team being Duke.
Yeah.
What ended up happening there. Them running into North Carolina once again this season. And then Purdue. I just liked the way that team looked. They had the crazy 7-foot center, and then they had, aside from, probably a top 5 pick in this year's draft in Jaden Ivey, they had another top 10, all pro or all American type player before the season started. I was like, oh man, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So but obviously we know who ended up winning last night and being Kansas. Yeah.
No, it was kind of a wild run for them. Like, I actually did win my bracket. I was like, after the round of 64, I was in last place. But since I picked Kansas to win, that kind of pulled out a victory for me in the last 2 rounds. Everybody else had Duke winning too in their brackets for the most part, either Duke or Gonzaga. So kind of worked out. But man, I just gotta say, like, I find like the round of 64, especially with these like teams that kind of make it in, it's so entertaining, and like the quality of basketball is really freaking good. It's sloppy sometimes, but it's good. It's fun to watch. Sure. Geezy, were you rooting for Wisconsin? Like, even though you're at a satellite campus, or who were you rooting for in March Madness this year?
I normally root for Illinois, just because visited there a lot when I was younger. Always been down there, but my boy, he graduated with me, same class, didn't go to the same school, but he's the starting point guard for Iowa State. He's the one hit like that long ass 3 versus LSU that pretty much sealed the deal. So wow. I was kind of rooting for them, watching them go on like to the Sweet 16. That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were my teams.
Sweet 16 is kind of crazy. And is your buddy going to be returning for his next year too? What is he like was he a freshman or is he older than you?
He was a freshman this year, and I think he's going to go back for another year.
That's kind of crazy. So potentially NBA aspirations for your buddy too down the road, or?
Yeah, if he would have went to the draft this year, he would have been around pick 23, anywhere to like mid-second round. But
wow,
he wants to stay another year.
He wants to hold out for that lottery pick and get the guaranteed money in the longer term. Yeah, that's not a bad move, to be honest. And honestly, it's one of those things you don't think about with these top collegiate athletes. They get this great opportunity to go and get a 4-year degree, but really, if you're good enough to be in the NBA, you're not sticking around for more than 2 years maximum at this point. So it's definitely got to be a tough choice. Like, you got to really be realistic and honest with whether you can make a career out of the NBA or whether you're going to be like a one and done person. Although I'm sure the opportunity to return to college off that initial money you make is makes it possible. All right, sound is okay now too. That was my bad, boys. I had my sound on my 40, so nobody could hear at the beginning of it, but I turned it up to 75, and now we're glitched here, sounding good. KingKov, did you get to watch much of the March Madness this year? And who do you root for normally? Are you a Syracuse Orange guy?
No, surprisingly. I mean, most of my family goes for college football and basketball. I don't really get into it as much, but they're killer Notre Dame fans. So I have no idea how Notre Dame
did well.
They ranked. I don't know how well they did or didn't do. But that's who they all root for. But we're kind of in like this weird time when once football is over, and if you're a Knicks fan and the Knicks are in the playoffs, we're just kind of like waiting for baseball. So it's a good little kind of like in between filler, and it is exciting. I didn't get to watch a lot of it, but it's always a good time when March Madness is actually getting played. Considering even a couple years ago we didn't even have March Madness with COVID going on, so it's always exciting times. Like, it's always fun to go back.
That was wild.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy. I remember when the COVID year happened. One of my buddies who lives, I think Detroit might have been hosting, or somewhere in Michigan was hosting one of the playing things. So he lives in Chatham, Windsor area, right across the border, and he had tickets to a game. He was actually in the arena because I think they did have people in the arena, and then everyone was like checking their phones, like, because COVID, the news kind of dropped, and then they ended up canceling, and that's when we went into that lockdown period where all of sports was kind of shut down for months. Kind of when a lot of people got into Twitch for the first time to get that sports fix.
Hell yeah.
Kind of crazy. So, some silver lining to it. But I remember at the time, I was like, what the hell am I going to do? There's no sports, and I'm working from home. I have all this free time on my hands, and nothing that I like to do is available. So, I mean, the one positive that came from COVID, I guess. Yeah, man. But, that's kind of crazy. Like, so your family's big into. Do you watch a lot of the college football? Did you say, or not so much?
Not really. Like, it's always like it's one of those things. Like, if it's on, like, and I'm able, if I'm not doing anything, like, or like a group chat's talking about it or something, then I'll like tap into it. But not typically. I mean, I know a few years ago Notre Dame in football got to the championship, and I'm pretty sure lost to famous Jameis at the time. I'm pretty sure he was in the championship.
From FSU.
I believe. Now, again, I'm not that knowledge when it comes to that stuff, but it's very little. Like, if they're really good and they get to like a big game or something, I'll like tap in on it or something like that. But not for me, not typically. No.
I mean, I don't know what it is now, but I remember back in the day, like when I was in high school, and I used to pay a little bit more attention to it. Appreciate Drew's on with the biddies. Back in the day, I used to think there were like 117 Division 1A teams. Like, it's a lot to keep track of. So honestly, it is overwhelming. If you're looking to just get into college ball, there's so many options out there. As far as Notre Dame, I think Notre Dame might have been a play-in team this year, and I think they won their first round game. They might have advanced to the round of 32 at least.
Right.
So they at least won one game in March Madness. I remember I think they won one game, and it was kind of like, I don't know if they were like a 12 seed. They might have been a 12 seed, but they played pretty well in the first round anyways.
I think what like gets me is like, at least with college football, is like there's so many different types of divisions and championships. Like in the NFL, like every team's has one ultimate goal, and in college it's a bunch of like mini goals, schools going after this and that. Like it's very all over the place, and I just have a bad time keeping up with it. So that's kind of like in general why I don't keep up with college.
Well, I don't even think I know what the new college football playoff format is, to be honest. Like, I just like the nature of streaming, I can't watch as much, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you how they decide who plays in the national championship game. I do know that when I was interviewing Darrington Evans on here, he was saying like at I think he was from Appalachian State he was saying there like the goal is to win their conference title or whatever. Like, he's like they're not looking because they're not going to get a look for the national championship because they're a bit of a smaller school or like a second-tier school. But like for them, the big thing is to win that like division championship every year.
How much you win by and all that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then a bunch of like it's not all mathematical. I'm sure there's other stuff like a lot of strength of schedule. Exactly. Nick OC, I know you got the Iowa flag behind you there. I actually put Iowa in my bracket making a bit of a run strictly because I knew you were a fan, and I was like, I'm just gonna put them in. I don't know anything about college ball. Did you get a chance to like? Is there any March Madness in Australia? Is that a thing? Like, do people care at all about NCAA sports?
So, like, I still got, like, Cove was saying, like, the group chat. So, like, I got a couple group chats that pretty much kept me in the loop, like, the whole time.
Yeah.
And, honestly, obviously, we're all diehard Hawks fans, generally speaking. Like, I got a buddy that's in Colorado now, but, like, he lives, you know, we all grew up together. So, like, he likes other schools. But, like, I even was cool with State going. You know, I think they made, like, the Sweet 16 or something. So, like, they did all right.
Yeah.
But, like, what the hell, man? I had the Hawks going like literally all the way. I was like, you know what? I know it's not gonna happen, but like if anybody, I have a buddy that bets Michigan State every year, and it almost happens like every year. You know what I'm saying? So like, not literally every year, but like here and there, Michigan State makes a pretty good push into the tourney sometimes. So like, I don't know. The Hawks they kind of screwed me. I went with State. They made it kind of far. And then I like that dude from St. Peter's. So I was like, those are like my three schools that like I wanted to go far. The mustache dude. What's his name again?
Oh, shoot. The only mustache dude I can think of is Adam Morrison from back in the day. Yeah, but it's not him.
I don't remember who it is.
Adam Morrison. Remember that stash? That was a nasty stash.
Yeah.
He played for Gonzaga back in the day, I remember. He had a terrible NBA career, but that's a whole different story. Yeah. St. Peter's was kind of like the one like Cinderella story, I guess, that people were following. And like, do you guys think...
and then they got popped.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, like, when these small schools make a run against, like, these powerhouse teams that have had great recruiting classes. Like, what do you think that it means, like, for, like, a small school, like, having a great showing in the March Madness? Like, do you think it's going to mean, for, like, a better recruiting class, like, more money coming into the school? Like, does it really have that much of an impact when they make a deep run?
Well, that dude I was talking about, the guy from St. Peter's, he got a deal. I don't know if he got it, like, he just got a deal.
He's leaving St. Peter's. So there you go. He used it as his audition.
Doug. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I think he got a little mini deal. I don't know if it was before the tourney or not, but, like, you got to think that dude probably didn't get any television before. So that has got to help the school. And they showed a picture of St. Peter's, like, where it's at. It's like a drive-through college. It's really like a community. Like, you can it's like one street, and you can just drive through, and, like, you're done. So, like,
that's kind of wild.
It's got to help the school. It's got to help the school.
Dude, sure. I mean, like, even, like, my school, like, I found out, like, the other day, our school in basketball, we're Division I. We're in the Horizon League. We went 5-25, and we just have all this money with sports, and we just don't know what to do with it. Apparently, we're just starting to use it in other areas now. So they should definitely get a lot of money off that, especially with that big of a run.
Dude, just from going 5-5, and you guys are making a bag over there. That's
5-25.
Oh,
the baggie.
Wait, 5 wins and 25 losses.
Yes,
and they're giving you guys money. Yo, that's crazy. They should be cutting your sports program out.
We're getting more. Like, we literally had half of our team, because another kid from my city, he played here up at Green Bay. He just hit the transfer portal. They have, like, 7 kids on the team right now, and we're getting more money.
That's wild. What? That's actually insane. But, boys, so it sounds like we had different amounts of watching March Madness. Like I said, I watched a lot the first weekend, and then really I didn't watch the Natty. It was on super late, too, by the way. I guess it's because they want to get the West Coast people as well a chance to watch, but
I watched
like
the entire Hawks game, and that's it.
Yeah,
the entire Hawks game, and then once they lost, I was like, all right, we're done. I'm done. We just lost to Richmond.
Oh, geez. Yeah, no, it was kind of brutal. I had going like 3 rounds in, I think. I had them making a really deep run, so they really screwed me over.
I was pick over there. Keegan Murray's a beast.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah,
he led the NCAA in scoring, actually, I think.
I will say, it is cool to see, like, it's one other thing, like, just before we move off from the college ball or from the March Madness, like, it's kind of hard to project. Like, you can kind of see guys in there who you're like, oh, this guy's a good college player, but he's not going to translate to the NBA. Like, you're looking at their body, their athleticism. And then you see guys that are like, oh, man, this guy, he might only be averaging 10 points a game, but you can see that, like, just his athleticism and length and, like, just natural hops that he has, you're like, this guy could actually be a really good NBA player. So it's, I guess scouts have a hard time. It's not just like who's the highest scorer. It's like you're looking at the intangibles and the stuff that you can't necessarily coach. Just like, some guy, like I was looking at Michigan, made a little bit of a run. And they had, they had a couple 7-footers on their team. He was honestly pretty unathletic. I was not impressed by their 7-footer. I was like, this guy is just kind of standing around. He's like a turnstile on defense. They had a point guard who kind of reminded me of like, I don't know, he kind of looked like Russell Wilson to me. I was like, damn, is that because I was watching on a small TV? Yeah, and he was good, like a big game player. But I was like, I can't see this guy playing at the NBA level. And then they had this power forward on their team who I was like, this guy could actually be a decent draft pick. Like this guy's got some bounce to him, and he was probably the third option on the field, or on the court. But I don't know, man. It's hard to project those things, how guys are going to do.
Can I show this out there? Do you guys think there will ever be a perfect bracket? Like ever?
Yeah. Has there never been? What's the closest that someone's got?
What, 2 or 3 years ago, a kid got pretty close, didn't he?
That's crazy. Is it just you? Is this like advanced like statistical analysis goes into it? Probably, right? Like crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Seeing how things like shaped out, like because I personally watched the whole year, like here and there in certain teams, but like certain teams I really did because I put a little money here and there. So I want to know like what's going on. So like some of the seeding, I knew that like. St. Peter's or like Baylor, right? I knew that Baylor was gonna lose early.
Yeah.
I don't know when. Maybe it was gonna be the Norfolk in the first round.
Yeah. Was it Michigan that they lost to in the second, or who did they lose to?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Oh, UNC. That's right.
Yeah.
That should have been a lot.
They almost came back against UNC too, right? Like they were down big, and then they almost came back, and then they ended up losing it down the stretch. That was a good game too. Man, I guess it pays to definitely do your scouting ahead of time, because most people. They see 64 picks, and you're just like, oh man, I'm just gonna start picking.
Right.
It's a lot. It's overwhelming.
It's like when a 15 seed
picks,
they got to what, the Elite 8 for the first 15 seed ever get that far, or something like that.
Wow.
Ever. Yeah, that's
crazy.
So it's like, how can there ever be a perfect bracket when shit like that happens? Like,
shot.
Like that's like the only way like a perfect bracket will happen. It's like the 15 and 16 seeds lose like they're supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly.
But that never happens. I think statistically, I don't think that's actually ever happened.
It's got to be super rare for sure. Yeah, it'd be more likely for an 8 seed to beat a 1 seed in the NBA, you know. But it's tough for a even that's fairly rare too, really. You know, like they do a decent job at the top seeded teams at least normally. Yeah, for sure. But one last college basketball question, guys. Coach K obviously, hanging it up. His last game was against UNC, which. Cool statistic. I think that going into that game, he was 50-49 record against UNC, and so losing to UNC ended a perfect 50-50 record. So like, kind of cool to see two of the like storied colleges, just such a good rivalry. Kind of a perfect way to end it. But what do you guys make? I'll maybe start with DK because he's a Duke fan. What do you make of Coach K stepping away? Like he's had a pretty cool career.
Pretty
impressive
his
career.
He's awesome. He's like probably top 3 reasons why I've like gotten into basketball, because like early on I just started to like see, I don't know, just look into history. I'm curious. I don't know. So Duke was one of the, obviously with their history and everything. I didn't really look into the history too much. I was just kind of focused on the here and now at that time anyways. Yeah. And he was just, I don't know. He had that. And I read up on Bob Knight, right? So he kind of like fell in that sort of line. So I was like, he's him, like, but for us. Yeah. So I try to appreciate him even when I was a little bit younger. So
without the scandal, I guess, of like throwing chairs and stuff, Bobby Knight was like kind of crazy, but like also a really good competitor too.
Yeah. So he's, I don't know. He's the guy.
Where's your chat wildin', bro?
Oh Jesus! I don't even want to read my chat right now. I'm afraid it's gonna pull me off. Yeah.
Oh my God! It threw me off.
Sorry, DK. I'm sorry.
You're good. But it's just disappointed how they went out. Like just the losing in in the last home game, and then losing the championship game in the ACC tournament, and then losing to North Carolina again. That was just If I'm on that team, I'm pissed. Because that's not a way to go out at all.
For sure. Do you think do you think that if Duke would have gone on, they would have matched up pretty well with Kansas? Like, do you think if they had won that game against UNC, that they would have gone on to win the national championship?
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, they have 2 top 20 picks, maybe, in their center in Paolo.
Yeah.
3 maybe even, because the shooter Keel or whatever, he's pretty good too.
Yeah. Duke's always like an NBA factory. Like they always seem to have like a lot of guys coming in. I guess UNC at certain times too, but like I'm thinking back to like there's so many great Duke players that have played under Coach K over the years too. Like did Grant Hill, like when Grant Hill was playing, and I'm the oldest guy here by far, but like I wonder if Grant Hill
I
played
remember
under.
that dude.
How long has Coach K been with Duke for? Does anyone know how many years is it total?
Wouldn't he be coaching that guy?
I mean, Grant Hill would have been in the 80s. Like, was Coach K around in the 80s with them?
Oh, that would have been probably when he just started, right?
Yeah,
I know yeah, it was right around that same time.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's wild, man. It's crazy, and I mean, coaching the Olympic team too, right? Like professionals, like the U.S. men's Olympic team. That's got to be another crazy thing too. Although, I mean, I don't think his Olympic experience was like perfect. I'm pretty sure they went through some rough years with him at the helm too. But man, DK, appreciate your thoughts on Coach K, man. Geezy, what do you know about Coach K? What do you think his legacy is? Maybe where he ranks on all-time college basketball coaches.
I mean, Coach K, I just remember growing up and, like, my dad, he's always been, like, a big Duke fan. So, like, when we used to watch the games together and everything, he'd always used to tell me, like, this is going to be, like, probably one of the best coaches ever. And, well, I think he's lived up to that.
Yeah, no kidding.
But, no, it's kind of sad to see him, like, go out like that, losing the Final Four. I think it would have been dope if we would have saw him, won the chip this year, go out like that,
Yeah.
I think it would have been like a dope way to end it all, but I don't really know much about Coach K.
Yeah. It's tough to honestly it's hard to win. I don't know how many national championships he won over the course of his career, but it's like super tough to win a college national championship. Super tough to go back to back. Like you got to win. You got to win multiple games. It's in a do or die situation. It's not a series. It's not a best of. It's like I think it's way harder to win a national championship than it is to win an NBA championship, I'd say. Although I mean, I guess some of the teams in college do get the better recruiting classes every year, but same way that some teams in the NBA get the better free agency every year. It's like definitely impressive what he was able to accomplish. Cobb, what about you?
I feel like
sorry, Geezy, go for it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I feel like he probably could have won a lot more, but with everybody with the one and done stuff now, it's hard to build that core group of guys. So it's pretty much you're getting all right. 3 people are going to the draft. The year after you get them, and you keep on replacing them, so you don't have that core group of guys. So I feel if the rules were different, with that, I mean, who knows what his success could have been like?
Yeah, 100%. I'm thinking that's kind of reminding me. The one and done's a good point. You kind of rely on a lot of your 4th year players in the NCAA tournament, but honestly, those are the guys who are they're seasoned, they're gamers, but they're not NBA level talent. So the best players are going to be out of there. That kind of reminds me of if you guys watch The Last Dance, the Jordan documentary on Netflix. That was really good, and I think
bro.
Yeah, do you guys know if Roy Williams coached Jordan when he was at UNC? I'm trying to think if it was Roy Williams. Yeah, Jordan talked about coming back to do his senior year. I think he left after his junior year, and Roy Williams was kind of telling him, he's honestly, obviously he would love to have Michael Jordan, lead him to a national championship, but he's you're ready to go. Don't bother sticking around for your 4th year. You're ready for the NBA. Go in and get a top, be a top 3 pick. So, I'm sure a good coach, while you want to hold on to all your good players, you're still going to be wanting what's best for their careers at the same time too. You got to find that balance, and want the best for them. Cobb, what are your thoughts on Coach K? Do you think it was a decent ending to his career? Or do you think?
I mean, he finished with a 766 win percentage, right? And when you coach that long, to have a winning percentage like that's pretty insane. You know what I mean? And he's just kind of it's one of those guys when you think of college basketball, it's the first guys you think of, you know what I mean? And to coach as long as he did with those crazy, win percentage numbers is wild. Because even look at a guy in the NBA now that Popovich now, right? Popovich doesn't have the guys he used to have in the early 2000s and so on, and they're not winning as many games. Yeah. So that go through so many years with different type of lineups and this and that, and still carry out wins it's wild. It's very wild.
For sure. It's that's one thing that's tough to judge a coach, because the players are the ones on the court performing. You think of, you're right, Popovich, he one of the all-time, probably one of my favorite NBA coaches of all time.
He just hit the all-time wins too.
That's right. Yeah, I think they played the Raptors and lost to the Raptors. They were on the verge. If they had won that game, they would have gone there. So I knew they were getting there soon. But Popovich too, you're right. Great record, amazing longevity. So many 50-win seasons with the Spurs in a row. It was crazy. But I mean, he had David Robinson, and then he had Tim Duncan, and he
had a big 3 for 10 plus years.
Yeah, then Manu and Tony Parker for so long, and keeping the same players. And then you look at a guy probably one of the other winningest coaches might be Phil Jackson, but he had Jordan, and then he had Kobe. So he really had top tier, all time type talent.
Yep.
So it's hard to judge like how much. The only thing you can really judge is like the play style.
Of, like, he had a good team and he's a good coach too. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Yeah, it's tough to judge for sure. NickOC, what are your thoughts on Coach K's career and how it ended with that loss to UNC?
Well, a couple things. I guess more or less, like, you guys know basketball, like we were saying, a little bit more than me, but like from my perspective, like we got a little bit of like relevancy issue, like how it ended in comparison, like how he's done the whole time.
Yeah.
Because like in my head, it's like the dude's pretty much like when you do think about college basketball, you do think of that dude, and like he does get so many one and done guys, so his program is badass. Like you got to think the dude. So that means he gets new guys pretty much every year and turns them into high caliber players, regardless of how well they are initially, like athletically. Yeah. Like it's still you fit the program, you get in, you get out. He's cool with it, and then it's like it's he's done. So it's almost like if like Nick Saban leaves college football or something. Like, this is a big deal. Yeah. Like this isn't like it's not just some there's only a couple dudes that can leave the sport and leave a footprint like this dude did. Yeah, so sure. I mean it's a pretty big, and especially like a casual dude like I was saying, you guys have got a little more statistics and stuff. I know this guy because of what he did to certain players, like and it's like Kyrie went to Duke, right? Am I wrong? Yeah. Like that's what. Yeah. So like there's a perfect dude. Like he knew that dude coming in. I think I don't remember exactly what, but like I watched something. And he knew right away that dude was gone. Yeah. Like he knew, like he was like this dude's going to the NBA. Like so when you already have that. Exactly. Like he deals with this all the time. He deals with those types of guys all the time. They don't get too big. Have you noticed most of those guys are pretty level-headed too? Kind of bad that we said Kyrie, but like most of his players that he says.
Look at RJ. Look at RJ Barrett, bro. RJ Barrett's about to be a top 10. I'm not just saying that. No bias, but he's about to be a top 10 player in this league in about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, Grant Hill is one of the all-time good guys of the league, I think too. Like, but although apparently that was maybe before his time, so again, we're probably pulling up the worst possible examples here, but
exactly.
You know what?
But like,
it's all in good fun.
Well, like, you know what I'm saying, though. Like, yeah. But as far as like consistently good like talent coming in and that's really hard to deal with. It seems like it does seem like it's super fucking hard to deal with. So like, I mean, I don't really care about how he ended because I've watched this dude turn so many people into all-stars. So like. Yeah, I don't know. That for me, it didn't matter too much. But that's also because I don't really watch it as often.
Yeah, for sure. It's like there's part of it. You have to look at his legacy of what he's done in the NCAA, but then also like if you really want to get into it, like look at what's happened with his players at the next level in the NBA too. Because I'm sure if you talk to any of those guys, he played at least a very important part in their life, even if it was just for 1 year. For sure.
Yep, guaranteed.
100%. K Harry's in the chat telling me to STFU. I don't know what that stands for, K Harry, but appreciate you being in here, bro. Yeah. But boys, we'll move on from college hoops here and get into the NBA, which is the main theme of the stream here. So I want to start off with some potential playoff matchups as they stand today. So there's still like a little bit left in the season, not too many games under. I think like 7 games, 6 games left for most teams. Yeah, it's getting right down to the bottom here. So not a whole lot of movement to be had, but I want to run through some possible playoff matchups and see where you guys think who would win, what would be a better matchup for them. This first one, 76ers. There's 2 teams that are tied right now. The Raps and the Bulls are right at 5.5 games back of the first seed here, so it could be either one of those guys. I could definitely see those 2 teams flip-flopping over the next couple weeks before the season ends. So what do you guys think? First of all, like, do the 76ers, trample either of these teams if they run into them? Who do you think would be a better matchup for the Sixers? Who do you think would be the easier team to oust from the playoffs? DK, what do you think about 76ers versus the Raps or the Bulls series?
I don't know. It's not so much like who's a better matchup for them, more so than I just think that the Raptors are a little bit better of a team, so I think that the Raptors, whoever they play, will fare better than the Bulls.
Yeah.
As crazy as that might sound.
The Bulls have been slumping heavily in the last month. Like, they really had a huge lead on the Raps, and now the Raps had actually overtaken them, I think, before they lost their last game. Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually tied right now. Tonight's a big night, actually, for both of them.
For sure.
And it's just like the injuries that the Bulls have, they all haven't, I hate to say this, but like the not playing together stuff. Yeah. And I feel like, especially with them, like with, somebody like DeMar and Levine, like they don't mesh too well in terms of like being able to play make. So like I feel like you have to have some cohesiveness, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they got some good pieces too. They got Lonzo Ball. Is he healthy? Has he been playing for them?
He just got shut down for the season.
No way.
Twitter.
So who's all hurt then?
Wow.
Is it that Lonzo? Is who else is gone?
That's a big one. And then Vukovic or yeah, he's solid. Yeah. He's solid. Like he's honestly, he was good for years on Orlando, like on a really bad team. But like I think he's a good fit. He's got like low post game, still a decent rebounder. Yeah, I don't know. He would get absolutely eaten alive by Embiid though. He's
I was about to say he's not guarding Embiid. Like I don't know who the hell would guard Embiid in that series.
That's probably the thing there is like whose bigs match up better. And honestly, I don't think either the Raps or the Bulls. I mean, the Raptors definitely have more length at every position on the court.
Yeah. They just might pose a little bit more of a problem.
Yeah. Basically, I think either team's got to. Yeah, either of these teams have to double team Embiid. Like nobody's going to be able to contain him one-on-one. He's such a beast. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Geezy, what's your take like on these potential matchups here? Who do you think the 76ers are that much more powerful than the Raps and the Bulls, or what do you think? Have you watched the NBA game this year?
Actually, yeah. I'm a Bulls fan, actually. So, like, I'm gonna be a little biased about this. I think the Bulls are gonna, I think they probably play the 76ers. But like I said earlier, it's just like when it comes down to guard play with like Harden and like Maxey, and then like I'm not too worried about that just because like I feel like the Bulls have good pieces even though they've been slumping. But like, who's gonna guard Embiid? Vucevic is not physical. Like. Yeah. Embiid will eat him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, we're going to have to put Patrick Williams on that guy, and he's not even that big.
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, I don't that's the only thing I'm worried about. I think the Sixers beat whoever they play. I think if they play the Raps, I haven't watched, like, the Raps too much.
Yeah.
But I think the Sixers would kind of flood the Raptors. If they played the Bulls, it's so hard because the Bulls have been slumping, dude. But I think
has DeRozan been the real deal? Like, do you think he's? I mean, he's averaging what, like 28 points a game, better assist numbers, better rebound numbers than his career average.
He was going. Yeah, I was gonna say he's been going absolutely
he's having a great
nuts. But he started. I think he started slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, but I mean, like, it's just like, can they get to that? Like, because playoff time, it don't matter. Pretty much everybody is 0-0 at that point. Yeah. So it's like, can they flip that switch? But I think the Sixers beat whoever they play. I'm a huge Tyrese Maxey fan.
Yeah.
And I think Joel Embiid is better than Jokic, but leave that for later.
Yeah, we'll save that for later. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it's definitely an interesting matchup. And yeah, no, the Bulls, like you said, they do have a lot of good guard play. Like, DeRozan's great. Still can't shoot the three necessarily, like at a high percentage. He's gotten better, but he's got that great mid-range jump shot. Probably one of the best deep mid-range shots in the league. I've known him as a Raptor for many years, and we love him in Toronto. So, honestly, I'm going to be rooting for the Bulls if my Raptors get knocked out, just to see DeRozan get a chance to go deep and potentially get a ring. I don't think the Bulls are going to win a ring, but, I'm surprised with how well they did this year. I looked at them and I was like, honestly, they made some splashes in free agency. I was like, they're going to still just be decent. They're not going to be elite.
But they're balanced. They're very balanced.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to be like, AC might not even playing a game, and then here comes DeMar DeRozan, one of top 3 MVP candidate at one point.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. He deserves it. He's worked hard. He got kind of shafted by the Raptors, getting traded away just in time for their championship. So I'd love to see him get some good things come his way. Cobb, what are your thoughts on these potential series? What team do you think has the better shot of knocking off the Sixers, and or do you think the Sixers are kind of just a little bit overhyped? Maybe we're reading too many of W's tweets every day. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's definitely the Raptors are definitely like the better team over Chicago. I mean, Chicago can't beat any good teams even when they are healthy. So it's obviously the Raptors. I think they'll give them, if it ends up going this way, I think the Raptors will give them a good fight. Like, the Raptors have actually beaten some good teams this year, and if they lose to them, they at least fight. And that's, you get in a 7-game, series scrap, you might be able to steal a couple games on the road. And if you can steal, if you obviously, because the Raptors are going to be on the road the first 2 games, if you could steal 1 or 2 of those games, like, you're in business. So I think they'll definitely fight. For me, it's like in the East, it's gotta be Sixers and Celtics getting through. Like I think the Heat is the biggest fraud #1 seed of all time.
I'm thinking it too. The Raptors did steal a game from the Heat a while ago, and then we just barely lost. Like honestly, we were kind of dominating them for 3 quarters, and then we just lost to the Heat on Sunday night. But the Heat did not look great. I know Jimmy Butler wasn't playing, so I mean he's their best player, so that obviously says something. But I will say the Celtics are scary, man. I would not want to face.
The Celtics are very scary.
I think the Celtics are the best team in the East, to be honest. I think. What do you think, DK? Hey, chime in here.
Center got hurt. I just remembered.
That is true. Wait. The Celtics center. He's like a 10.10 board guy. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Robert Williams. Yeah.
That's right. So now they have like what's his name? What's that guy? Yeah, Theus or whatever. Yeah, that guy's honestly cheeks. That guy can't play defense. He's an efficient scorer around the basket, but he's not anything special. He's just like a plug and play guy, like a little fill in for him. But that apparently the center they lost to was like their defensive anchor for the team, from what I've heard from Boston stands like, hey Harry, Theus. That's right. Thank you very much. Oh, it's pronounced Theis? No shot. I'm calling him Theus. I don't care. Al Horford too. He didn't play against the Raps either. But honestly, like the backcourt that they have, I mean, my Raptors beat the Celtics just a week ago, but literally, Jaylen Brown wasn't playing. Jason Tatum wasn't playing. Their center was out. Like we literally went into overtime against their bench. Like Marcus Smart had heart. I was like, man, if we can't beat their bench, I don't want to see them with their starters. Like they're gonna be good. Nick OC, what do you think about these potential teams? Who do you think has the best shot to maybe make a run in the playoffs from what you've seen this year?
Well, I don't really watch a ton of basketball, but just just thinking of like who's on the squads. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, you guys would have to correct me on most of this shit, but like the Sixers look like they got a pretty good like top to bottom squad if they all are like healthy and playing, right? Like like their starting five is what? James Harden, Joel Embiid. Do they start like Tobias Harris, Millsap? Who else do they play?
Yeah, I don't even know Millsap's starting. Is Millsap starting for them? I wonder. He was good, but he's probably a role player now.
Just like I said, kind of casual take here, but like it looks like assuming that all these dudes are healthy, like you were saying about the Bulls, like they have a lot of like it seems like high velocity like players that can probably push the push the court, but like it seems like if you kind of just playing like a neutral game, I would assume that the Sixers are probably gonna roll these teams, but I don't know though. You know what I'm saying? It just for me, it looks like the top to bottom. Like I would say that the Sixers probably just kind of roll. Yeah. And I don't know. I was looking at the Heat, and it doesn't really look like. Yeah, I don't know the Sixers. Who's on the Celtics this year? Like who's
Celtics? It's got to be Jaylen Brown and Tatum are the two best guys. They can both put up like 25, 30 points easily.
So I mean, I would say I can see why you guys say Sixers and Celtics then, because I'm looking at the other like teams that you guys are that we're talking about. It's like I don't really know that many guys. I know Pascal Siakam and like Van Fleet, but like I don't really know any other like guys that I guess that would dominate the court. And I feel like you need at least one superstar to make a pretty good push into a playoff, right? Like, so
in today's NBA, you would think you need to have like a star player for sure.
Yeah, you get the Celtics duo that you're talking about. I mean, the Bulls, they got good players, but none of them are like they're good. I'm saying like MVP DeMar at the beginning of the year because I used to like the Bulls when like Derrick Rose played, but So like I don't know, they got a couple like good guys that will match up well, but I think top to bottom like the Sixers just look like they kind of got a star-studded lineup this year. Like
for sure,
like they're kind of rocking and rolling, really.
Absolutely. I was always team like James Harden is a top 5 player in the league, and then now this year I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. He might not be top 5. He might not be top 10 anymore. But for his time with Houston, I was like, man, James Harden's just a force to be reckoned with. Now that they've kind of like, tightened or loosened up on the whistle a little bit, and now they're tightened up on the whistle rather. They're not calling everything anymore. Harden's not getting to the line 20 times in a night anymore, so he's been stifled a bit, and his percentages aren't great. But I still think he's having an elite post player and an elite, scoring distributor.
And
they look good.
Yeah, the Bucks.
Yeah, they got 2 legit like arguments that they could be top 10 players in the league still. Look at the Nick OC emotes coming across the screen. I love those, man. Those are glitchy.
The Bucks still got Giannis too, right? So I guess like
Bucks got a good team. Bucks got a good team for sure. The only reason I didn't bring the Bucks up on here is because I'm not really sure they're going to play one of the play-in teams, and I really don't know who to expect. Could you imagine the Bucks playing the Nets, the Bucks versus the Nets or something like that? Like that would be kind of insane. We'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. But speaking of which, I wanted to move on to a situation here, which is possible. The Heat, if they can hold on to, I think they're still the #1 seed at this point. They could foreseeably be playing against a play-in team like the Nets. And you could also take this question as Nets versus anybody. The Nets have been playing some decent ball lately since the Harden trade. They still, as far as I know, I've been trying to find. It looks like they're not playing Simmons. Like, what's up with Simmons? Is he like suspended? Is he injured? Like, what's going on? Why is he not playing?
Did they just shut him down for the year?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, didn't he have like a back injury?
Oh,
I mean, I guess, but I don't. Who knows? Who knows?
I don't think they need him.
I was gonna say,
why does everybody hate him now? What
they
happened?
hate him. They hate him because he had a rough. Yeah. They hate him because he got roasted on social media for not being able to make a single bucket, like literally in the playoffs last year. Like he was just passing up the ball and clear open shots.
Like,
yeah, and then he just
not take it. Like,
yeah, he went scorched earth against the Sixers. He refused to play for them after getting a max level extension, the same one that Siakam got for the Raptors. And he just like went. Yeah, scorched earth policy, cut all ties, burned all bridges, and I'm assuming it's all a reaction to what happened on social media, because the organization stood by him. And then, it was just super awkward. Like, Embiid had to call him up before the season, and then it was just this whole waiting game demanding a trade. It was nasty. So Philly obviously hates him, like, but at the same time, he's a great defender, 6'9". I think he could be a great player in the league, but maybe just not a point guard. I mean, he's a decent distributor too. He's maybe a small forward or a power forward even in this league. Like he can defend your guy, the best player on other teams if he gets his head right. What do you think?
He just had a bad team around him.
Yeah, and feel free to talk about Ben Simmons too. But like, do you think the Nets could topple one of the top seeds if they do make it out of the play-in game, or what do you think about this Nets team?
100%.
100%.
They look fire.
Yeah.
The Nets have all that firepower. Like that team is not really like. I think what are they ninth right now in the East?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Like you got to think like Kyrie Irving didn't play for like the first part of the season, then could only play away games, and I think now he can play every game, right?
Home. Yeah. They got rid of the vaccine mandate in New York, so now he can play at home.
So like now they got him. KD was hurt like this whole year, but you got to remember that's fucking KD, like 6'10" scoring machine. Yeah. I mean, they got other pieces around them. I'm like that team is really not a 10th seed. Yeah. Like they can take out any team that they play.
Yeah, this Nets team, like it's crazy. Like KD in any other generation, he would be like a generational talent. Honestly, if it wasn't for LeBron being in the same era. It's crazy to think about how slept on KD is, like, at this point in his career. Like, his numbers, his percentages, like, he's become a better defender, I think, since he went to the Warriors a little bit. But, like, honestly, like, I think ever since he went and became, like, a third wheel on the Warriors, like, he's kind of, people don't look at him as a top dog for whatever reason. I think he's still, like, a top 5 player in the league.
You think it's that, or just these guys are also just that as good as him, too? Like, Giannis, like, the numbers that they put up, they're just...
Yeah, it's true. Like, I look at KD,
There's
like,
the one thing... talent in the NBA right now.
Too. Like, you can make an argument for all of them.
For Giannis, definitely as a defender, like, he looked so dominant in the playoffs last year. Like, in the finals, he looked... honestly, it looked like he was doing hook shots from the free throw line, and he was just dropping it in. Like, it was too easy. Like, nobody could guard him. He was so strong. Like, look at Giannis from where he came into the league, and he was so skinny. And now he's like he can manhandle anybody, and
was huge.
Yeah,
he's a unit now.
KD's obviously got a better 3-point stroke and free throw shooting and all that, but everything else in the game, Giannis is probably better at this point. He's unstoppable.
The Nets better just make sure they get in, because right now they're tied with Charlotte for 9 and 10. Like, you don't want to be 9 and 10 after win 2 games. You know what I mean? Anything could happen in a 1 game type of situation.
Sure.
But I mean, like, if they can lock in to where they have room to lose a game or two, if it's against the Heat, then they go on a run. But they better hope they get in a position where they don't have to win a 1-game playoff twice.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then you're basically in an NCAA situation where it's the one and done, and that's. It's like honestly, it's like in the MLB, the 1-game wild card is the stupidest thing in the freaking world. Because it's literally, it's like
so stupid.
It's like, bro, do you really feel like the Yankees, I think last year the Yankees make the playoffs over the if the Yankees make the playoffs over the Blue Jays, their season goes 1 game longer. Really, like it's not.
They lost to the Red Sox.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. So
it should be a best of 3, I think.
I think best of 3, and then best of 5 for all the other series, and then best of 7 once you get to the
162
ALCS.
games on 3-game sets. Why would you do it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
that's another discussion.
We just want more baseball too. But yeah, absolutely. Does anyone in here, like, and I kind of like this, that we're kind of just going around, whoever has something to say, chime in, but do you guys think that the Heat are a legit number 1 seed, or do you think they're kind of like maybe getting cold at the wrong time? What do you guys make of the Heat? Are they a number 1 seed? Are they somebody you wouldn't want to play in the playoffs?
Their defense, right? Aren't they good at defense? Isn't that the main thing with these guys?
I mean,
they got
like,
Bam and Jimmy, but like the problem is
Jimmy's a good defender.
Bam was out like really early in the season, right? He like did something.
Cool now, though.
Yeah,
he's cool now. I couldn't remember
day.
how long he was out, but like I know Jimmy's been battling problems. Like Kyrie, he's not that much.
I feel like every team in the East is dealing with problems. It's just a product of the East continuously, like they are every year, being as weak as possible.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny though, because the West now is no longer what it was either. The West, like for literally, well, basically until LeBron came over to the West. To be honest, the West was always like number 8 was a stacked team. Like it was like the top 8 teams were really freaking good.
Right.
And really like the East has always been like maybe the top 3-4 are really good teams, and then 5 to 8 is terrible. You know, like the East is still not dominant, but the West like for 15 years was so freaking good.
As of right now, the championship, the Suns will be the champions. It's theirs to lose. Like
they look
that's
really good.
It's theirs and nobody else's until proven otherwise.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would definitely agree with that for sure. You know, let's pull up here because the Warriors Jazz looks like it could be a possible matchup here, a 3 versus 5 seed. Like what do you guys make of the Warriors? Are they still championship contenders at this point? Like Klay Thompson doesn't look like he's back to what he used to be. Are they still in a super elite team at this point with what they got?
Yeah.
DK, you think so?
Yeah. That's a scary
team. So what, like, do they have depth on this team? So they got Klay Thompson, they got Steph Curry, they got Andrew Wiggins, who's become a better 3-point shooter. Then what is like guys like Looney? Like is it like fill-ins after that, or do they have like depth?
We mentioned Jordan Poole.
Yeah, Draymond Green, is he injured right now, or is he?
He's, I think, off and on. I think he's okay.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Is he still like a defensive force? Is he still a really good defender?
He doesn't have to score a point. That's the crazier thing. He doesn't have to. As long as Steph Curry, now Klay is on the court, he's doesn't have to score a point.
He's kind of perfect for that role too. He seems like he's okay in taking on that role as well, because he gets a lot of love for it. He's had 3 rings, right? So I mean, he gets love for being that kind of guy who does everything.
I just think the Jazz can't finish, bro. They can't. They had a fucking 25-point lead the other night against the Clippers. I had a goddamn parlay on it. They cost me my parlay. But they just can't. They can't finish games and they can't finish series, man. I mean, they were the 1 seed last year. They got through. They barely got through that, and then they get flooded the next round. Like, I don't know. I really like. To me, they're just that team that's very good every year, but just not good enough to where like if a healthy Warriors team is what we're getting, they don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance.
You know, and it's like championship DNA too, right? Like I was just saying like championship DNA with the Warriors. So it's like as long as dudes are rocking, like the chemistry is gonna be there. And I mean, you don't ever want to fuck with the team that's got good chemistry, and they've already been there, done that.
100%.
For sure.
100%.
The Utah Jazz reminds me of the team when you go to the like AAU tournaments. You have all the teams with like the hyped up players with crazy bounce, and the Utah Jazz is that one team at the AAU tournament that has all the white guys that play fundamental basketball, can shoot threes.
And they make a run.
They're in layup lines doing layups. You know, they're not doing no reverses. They're using the backboard. Right. Like that's the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, I mean. No, you chime in. Go for it.
I absolutely love that Utah is in a spot where maybe they would get bounced on the first round, because I'll tell you right now, if Mitchell's not happy, bro, fucking have the Knicks call him up the second the fucking season's over. The Knicks need a point guard, and bro, he's a big Mets fan. Like, bring him home, man. Bring him home.
Yeah, is Donovan Mitchell? Is he a point guard or a shooting guard? Like, is he a combo guard?
He would fit well as a point guard. So if wherever he's put at, you know, what his label is there, I'm sure it could get moved to point guard just fine in New York.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, like when you talk about like Geezy's, you know, talking about the fundamentals and whatnot. Like, it's funny, like Jerry Sloan was with that team for decades. Like, he was with them from the Malone Stockton years into like LeBron's career. Like, he was there for a long time. I think they kind of did him dirty, but I think his legacy is still there. Like, Utah has they've never had a prolonged terrible streak. Like, they had Darren Williams, they had, you know, Carlos Boozer years. They were pretty good. Still haven't won. Has Utah ever won a championship? I don't think they have they?
Boozer was nasty on the Jazz.
Boozer was before he went to the Bulls and then did his hairline where he painted his hairline on, and then he became a meme forever. But yeah, man, those teams are really good, man. This Jazz team I think is really solid. I don't think that they can compete with the Warriors necessarily in a full playoff series.
Well, that being said, like honestly, like I don't think they're on your topic, Murph, but I'll tell you what, PG coming back, Clippers could be scary. They're 8 right now. If they get in.
That's what I wanted to talk about, too. Mm-hmm. The Clippers is a good one, because I don't have them as an actual topic on here, but, like, you know, Kawhi being a humongous signing coming off of, like, an MVP caliber season and a championship, and then to see, like, the first season of Paul George and Kawhi was terrible. Like, from a PR perspective, like, losing the locker room, people were saying that, like, they were treating Paul George and Kawhi like it was, like, separate levels of players. Like, it was like they were being treated like royalty, and the rest of them were treated like a tier below. Like, and then it was corny stuff, too. Like, I heard Paul George gave a speech, and, like, the locker room was just rolling their eyes. Like, nobody seemed to buy in. And then they still haven't had a dominant season.
Did we forget that team, like, literally was 2 wins away from the finals last year? Yeah. Like, they got to the West Finals and won a couple games. Like, they like, they're a team everyone forgets about. Like, and I get it, because, like, you know, the Lakers take a lot of shine away, and they have gone through a lot of injuries and stuff like that. And their coach really a coach? Is Tyronn Lue really a coach? You know what I mean? You know, because all those years with LeBron, everyone's like, there ain't no way Tyronn has any sort of, say in some things. It's got to be the same thing there. When you got a couple of egos in there, it's hard to think that the head coach is really staying in the locker room. So, but that team is not a team you want to face, especially like if they end up, in the 7th seed, like, you know, and an 8th seed has to go there with, you know, they got to win, or else they're on the brink of elimination themselves. It's like, that's not a team you want to face. Yeah,
for sure. It's funny, like Tyronn Lue, I think will come into his own. I think he'll actually be a really good head coach. It was tough his first year in coaching, having LeBron on the team. Like, that's probably the hardest to make your presence felt, where LeBron's like literally one of your peers. You guys used to play on the court at the same time. I used to love Tyronn Lue as a player, like for the Atlanta Hawks. Like, I always used to, back when the Raptors were really bad when I was growing up, like they were bad for a long, long time. But I always remember like having really good games against those Hawks teams, and Tyronn Lue was a grinder. So I think he's going to translate well to the NBA. But I don't know what it is. He always seems to get these teams with like huge personalities. Kawhi's got a huge personality, but he also doesn't have a personality at the same time. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, literally.
He's like an unassuming superstar. It's like he just makes people uncomfortable, but like he's like, and Paul George too. Like they're both incredible talents and great shooters, great players, and great defenders. So you can never count those teams out. Depending on if they can actually get a seed in a play-in game or what. But definitely an interesting series there. I put this question in for B. Johnsy. This next one here. Mavs versus Nuggets. I think two teams that are fairly like who do you think wins this one? So the Mavs right now are the 4th seed. I think Nuggets are the 5th seed. Who do you guys think wins this one? You got obviously Luka for the Mavs, who's kind of like a one-man wrecking crew, but I don't think the Mavs have a whole lot of depth beyond Luka. I think he has to carry that team, whereas the Nuggets might have a more balanced roster. Who do you guys think wins if these guys?
I think it goes 7, and you do a coin flip type deal. To be honest with you, you know what I mean?
Evenly matched. Yeah,
I do. Yeah, I think they're very evenly matched. And it's like, especially just Luka alone, just is really one of those type of guys where it's like he could carry you. He could carry you and win a playoff series. Yeah. But it's a tough match. Like that's when you look at it and you're like, you really like, if you were to put like money on it, like I don't feel comfortable either side. Yeah, like, it's gonna be grimy. It's gonna be very grimy.
For sure. Anyone else want to chime in on that? What do you guys' takes on? Because it's very different. It's like you get one all-world, like Luka's clearly a star. Like he plays the guard position. Like he's going to be taking shots when he's not a great 3-point shooter percentage-wise yet, but he's, if he can develop, like become like a 35-37% 3-point shooter, he'll be unguardable. He already is kind of unguardable.
Yeah, he really is.
And he does everything. Whereas Jokic is like, his stats are just historical. Like I look at what he's doing, I'm like, I've never seen a guy do this before, where he's a triple-double machine. And he doesn't seem to ever get off the ground. Like, he doesn't seem to need to jump at all to do what he's doing. It's kind of crazy. Like, the ultimate throwback. I saw a meme the other day of these two guys, like, pictures of Luka, like, on his team, and then pictures of Jokic just being, like, this fat kid back in the day. And it's like, it's amazing that the NBA is in, these are two of the top, probably 10 players in the league. I don't know. Who would say, who's going Mavs here out of the group, if you guys had to pick?
I don't even know who I'd go. Because, like, we know Luka and like Jokic are going to do their thing, but it comes down to who's going to be the guy that steps up. We know Luka and Jokic, they're going to do their thing, but who's going to be that guy that's going to put the team over the edge? You know what I mean?
Yeah, For sure. Yeah, it's like Luka's for the one. The Nuggets, I don't like. Who does the Nuggets have? Jamal Murray, is he healthy? Is he?
Nah, I think he might be done for the.
I
don't know. They were talking about him coming back, but I feel like that time is like kind of coming past. So
I'm trying to think. The Raptors played the Nuggets like a week or two ago, and I watched that game, and I think like they still have like Will Barton around. Like they were like I couldn't think of who the next most impactful player was after Jokic.
Aaron Gordon probably.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon from the Magic back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And is he like he's like a power forward, small forward combo guy? Like I don't know if he's a. He never.
On how they run their lineup,
Yeah. And I will say like Gordon's jump shot looks to have gotten better from like what it used to be. Like he used to be just a slasher, dunker, put back guy. It looks like he's developed a bit of a mid range game now. So yeah, the Mavericks though I literally probably can't name after Porzingis got traded. I don't think I can name another player on their roster like if they have any depth or any other guys to relieve the load. Luka has to score 35, I think, for them to win a playoff game.
Yeah,
he might have to score 40
from the Knicks, and he was like he had a really good year from 3 with the Knicks, and they went there and it's been so bad, bro.
Yeah,
so bad.
Yeah, that's tough. So that's gonna be like anytime Luka's not on the court, it's like they gotta like basically manage the score or something. Like wait for him to be back in. Is kind of what it looks like.
Luka might
like
average,
shades of like LeBron back in the day when he's on like the shitty Cavs team type deal.
He might have to play like 44 minutes a game or something stupid. He might have to play 44, 45 minutes a game.
Luka might be like the Jimmy Butler from the bubble type deal.
Yeah,
we're gonna need him. We're gonna need him.
Like if he's not on the court, they're screwed.
100%. I mean, it'll add to his mystique, but he's also like the grind of having to be the guy for an entire playoff run is tough. I'm sure Luka would love to have like a second star down there, which was kind of. I think they thought Porzingis could be that guy, and I was surprised when that trade happened. To be honest, I don't like Porzingis. I guess never turned into a superstar, but he still has great tools, like a good shot blocker, good 3-point guy. But yeah, I guess that relationship was not meant to last. One thing, guys, we got 2 more topics left here, and these ones are not really matchup related. They're more related to situations around the league and your take on them. The Lakers, we talked about LeBron on my last NBA podcast, but now I just want to talk about the state of the Lakers this season, like what is going on down there. Kind of become a meme, like, you see these aging stars. I mean, then Anthony Davis is still in his prime. He should be in his prime. Like what went wrong in LA? Like, can you guys point to why they're struggling so much? And it looks like they're out of a play-in spot right now. They're not even looking like they could still get one, but I just don't see any signs of them being able to win a damn game. Who wants to start off on this one?
Kind of want to add to the question.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I feel like the most recent news is like DeMar DeRozan could have been a Laker, but LeBron and
Knicks
Westbrook had talks.
Yeah, I heard that.
Like.
I heard the front office wanted DeRozan, and he
does that play into a part? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like I wish I knew what the source was for that. I feel like that's a really
Magic
weird
Johnson.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a pretty good source. He's definitely tied to the organization. Yeah, man, that's kind of crazy. Like, dude, are you saying, Geezy, that you think that Westbrook, like having Cap invested in him, that Westbrook is the reason this team sucks? If you had to put a scapegoat on the whole thing and say, like, it's this guy's fault?
I just feel like everybody wasn't all in on Westbrook.
Yeah.
When, when they were trading for him, like, I feel like, some of the organization was looking more towards DeMar because then they could have kept the role players that they were talking about before. And
yeah.
But I don't even know, bro. Like, there's just a lot going on. How the hell did this happen?
Like, how the hell did they lose this many games even anyway? So what, like, Braun was out, like, the whole year? Or
no, Braun's been having... Braun would be an MVP candidate. Braun's not even in the top 10. He's not even in the top 10 on, like, NBA's MVP list right now. But, like, his numbers are MVP worthy. He's leading the league in scoring. He's shooting better percentages than his career average. He's still rebounding, getting assists at a high level. When I watched him against the Raptors, he can still... Euro step and explode to the basket and be unguardable. Yeah. And his step back threes are crazy. Like, his 3-point shooting is like, he just takes one step back and he looks like he's playing his best ever at age 37. Maybe not his best ever, but like, I mean, right up where he always is. Like, he's really good. So that's what I don't understand. I don't understand how they're this bad.
There's a lot of stuff. I mean, you watched like from earlier in the year and you could just tell like not everybody is locked in on the same goal. Like, and you'd watch people get back on defense. There'd be one dude back on defense sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the coach for LA? Like,
that's exactly what I was about to say. If you ask Lakers fans why they suck, it's the coach. That's what most Lakers fans will tell you. It's because of the coach.
Who did Vogel coach before the Lakers?
Because Indiana.
The
Patriots.
Indiana used to play like way above their roster back in the day. Like they
exactly.
were like
sure.
really good defense. So it seems like maybe they haven't bought into what Vogel's preaching down there. Like, is he like, too hard nosed of a coach? Yeah.
Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, as the coach, like you got LeBron on you have so many egos. Like you got to think you got LeBron, you got Westbrook. I don't think AD is much of an ego, but he's a superstar. He's got like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got Melo. Like Melo is old as shit. He thinks he should be in the starting five probably.
Did Melo take a full year of retirement off? He did, right? He did sit out one season, or almost. Did he come back to Portland late?
DJ said Dwight too. Yeah, Dwight Howard on the spot.
Howard, yeah. Like, that's a lot to deal with.
I mean, bro, if you were putting like these players all in their primes on one team,
you're the Lakers though, baby. Like that's the whole point.
Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't always work out that way. Like sometimes you're better off taking a young dude like who is hungry than taking an older guy who's on his last legs. I love all those players like in their primes. I love Westbrook. I think like triple double machine. I think he gets a lot of hate, and this year has only hurt him more. But I think Westbrook's a Hall of Famer in my mind, 100%. Dwight Howard, Hall of Famer. Like I'm like, for me, I'm like, I want to blame Anthony Davis because I'm like, he should be super hungry. He should be playing his best basketball ever.
Yeah.
He's like, what, 25, 26? Like, he should be a top 5 player in the league, and I just haven't even heard him mentioned.
What are you doing?
Yeah. He should be averaging 3.5 blocks a game and 12 rebounds and 30 points and taking the load off LeBron. But I don't know, man. It's weird.
That's how I see it. I know he's been hurt, but like, when you think about the move, right, when they got Anthony Davis, I feel like everybody's first thought in their mind was, okay, Anthony Davis is half the age of LeBron James, and in the current moment, he was a top 5 player.
Yeah.
He's going to just hand over the reins to Anthony Davis. LeBron helps his hands. Maybe Bronny gets there, maybe he doesn't.
Yeah.
Ends it there, Anthony Davis, that's your team.
Yeah.
Right. What are you doing?
Yeah. It didn't, it's like he regressed a little bit, and like, it's almost like I wonder if it's a thing where LeBron thought that he was going to decline a bit more, and now he's realizing he's still top dog. Like he's like, I thought that by 37 we'd start to see him maybe averaging like 25 points a game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. I thought he'd still be a really really good all-star player, but like a little bit. Maybe he just realized that he still wants to be the number one guy. I don't know.
Well, no. So I feel like his numbers are actually skewed though. Call me crazy. I think they're skewed.
Okay.
A reason being is just because he has to do everything.
Yeah, he does.
It's almost like the Lucas situation, but different. It's like they're selling. They're not that they're bad. They're literally almost selling.
That's a great comparison. That's a great comparison. Yeah.
That's why he has to get 30. It's great that he is doing it, and great that the shots are going in, but it's because he has to do it.
Yeah, it's true. And LeBron's always been a guy, like, he's never had like a crazy, Kobe put up 35 for a season that one year when he led the team to the, I don't even think they made the playoffs that year actually when Kobe put 35 up, or they didn't make a deep run that year. But LeBron's always like, he's never had to be a leading scorer in the league, because he makes his teammates around him better. Like when I look at how many 40 and 50 point games LeBron's had, it's not that many. Like he's just consistently puts up 30 because he's consistently on winning teams. That's what he needs to do, and he makes everyone else around him better. It's like this year, it's like the Lakers won't allow LeBron to make them better. I don't understand it. It's really.
I don't know how they're gonna get better either. Like if I was him, bro, I'd be like, I'm going to Cleveland, where at least there's like something to be happy about.
Could you imagine?
To be happy about.
Imagine LeBron with that young team they have in Cleveland, who's already really good without him. That would be insane.
I'll play till fucking 45. And go
does he have an opt out after this year? Can LeBron opt out after this season, or does he have to stick around for one more year? I'm trying to think. I don't know the nature of his contract.
I think he's got to stay one more year.
Yeah. His first year with the Lakers was bad, like with injury, and like I think people were saying he was like, he was filming Space Jam or something. He was distracted. I don't know, whatever the conspiracies were. He did get the one ship like in the bubble, which is like kind of like a asterisk ship.
Mickey Mouse.
They say it's hard. Like all the players, like not the Lakers. Players themselves, they said that was hard.
Bro, these guys were living like college students, like all on a hotel floor, couldn't leave the hotel. Like it was like strict lockdown. That was kind of crazy. Like that's kind of kudos to the NBA for getting a season in that way. Like, I'm amazed that the NBA got a season in that year with all those protocols. Like, holy shit.
I did watch a shit ton of NBA that year, though, just because, like, there's nothing else to do, though.
I did, too.
It sucked with no fans in the stands, though, man. Like, even the other day, I had PTSD. The Raptors were playing a game against the Pacers, and we were up by, like, 28 in the second quarter. And then, like, a speaker caught fire. They had to evacuate the whole ACC.
Yes.
And I was like, shit, okay, wow. That's, first of all, it takes a lot of time to evacuate a whole stadium. But then they played the rest of the game with just the commentators. And I was like, damn, this is reminding me of the COVID season. It sucks, man, not having fans in the seats. They didn't even have, like, the virtual fans there. Yeah, man. But we'll see.
Bro, I'm looking at the Lakers roster, and who the fuck is Wenyen Gabriel?
Yo,
he's their starting power forward right now.
No shot.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah,
bro. DJ Augustine's still in the league.
No
DJ
shot.
Augustine, Raptors, Bobcats legend, man. Bobcats legend.
He's on the Lakers, bro, and he's got a $393,000 salary. This is the bench.
This is like,
where is he? Like, they try to bank on him. He was their one person that they had under contract.
And Mason Jones.
Yeah. It's like it's crazy. It's like, is depth that important? You think about the super team. It still is a super team. Maybe not Westbrook at this point. He's not playing like a superstar. But like Anthony Davis and LeBron should be able to win you a shitload of games, especially when they're playing heavy minutes. But like the bench is looking a lot like the Kobe, like Smush Parker, like crappy ass Lakers roster that they had for all those years. Like maybe
it's kind of crazy because they have some names on the bench too. Like Ariza's not horrible.
Ariza's old as hell. He's still in the league.
Ariza, yeah, I was saying Ariza was like when I was a little kid.
I thought he was like
what?
Wait, he's actually bad. I thought he was like a solid like defender.
No, it's not bad. He just hasn't played.
Oh, okay.
This is almost like LeBron handpicking a team and being like, yeah, this guy was tough back in 03 when I came into the league.
100%.
Like,
this is like the team he hooped with during the offseason.
Yeah,
like,
bro, this is like the guys that are coming to like the summer cookout, like all on a roster, but it's like they're not that good anymore. Like, it's crazy. But hey, man, and it's interesting. Like, does anyone think that the Lakers have a chance to get in the play-in and make the playoffs? Does any person here think that? I can't see it.
Right?
They're 2 games out right now.
Yeah.
Oh, they can?
Like they've just been looking so bad and progressively worse.
I think they can. I think if LeBron's gonna be, I think if anybody,
it's
that's what I'll say. Like, I thought they were out already. I thought I saw something on the old tweeter, but
shoot, so they need a lot of help. Basically, they need a lot of help from those bottom seeds. Yeah, it'll be tough, man.
They have 4 games. They have 4 games left, and they're behind 2. Like
I just don't.
Yeah. They got to win all 4, 100%.
Okay, I don't want to be that guy, but I think the NBA is some sort of rigged a little bit. So, like, I don't see the NBA playoffs without LeBron James. Like, I just could not see it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna watch. I'm calling it right here. They're making it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right without him, to be honest. It doesn't seem right. But hey, we'll see what happens. I have one more question for the night, guys, and you guys have done an amazing job answering all these ones so far. And then this is a big one on Twitter. I see a lot of talk about Joel Embiid and a lot of slander on Jokic's name. If you had to pick, okay, you could approach this question in multiple ways here. Who's better, straight up, Embiid or Jokic? Who is more of an MVP candidate this year, Embiid or Jokic? And you could also say, if you had to build a franchise around one of these two guys, who would you do it? You could answer that question any way you want to. Who wants
to answer all 3?
Please GoatGeezy. Please go for it.
Okay. Who's the MVP this year? I think it's Jokic. I just think if you take away Joel Embiid and Jokic on both their teams, I think the 76ers have a better year than the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are absolute horseshit without Jokic.
That's the other one, too, the flipping players and who would have a better impact. That's another way I didn't even think of looking at it. So you think the Sixers are even more – they have more wins with Jokic than –
100%. I just dropped my phone.
Interesting.
But – like, if I'm building a team, dude, I just love the way Embiid plays, bro. Like, he just has that I don't give a fuck about you attitude, and he's just going to get down in the paint. Like, I just love, like, that type of attitude. So, like, I don't know. I think Embiid's the better player. I think Jokic, though, he does have a lot more when it comes, like, the passing and all that.
Yeah, I get that for sure. He obviously, like, both of them are having incredible seasons. Like, frig, I'd take either of these guys. I'm surprised I even have this as a topic. I never thought I'd be talking about two big men being MVP candidates ever again. I thought that was done. Kov, do you want to chime in on this? The Embiid versus Jokic? Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same argument where Yeezy is. It's like, I think if you were to put, you flip the roles, like the Nuggets would be a fucking joke. So you know what I mean. So it's like Joe obviously has the most value, to them compared to what the Sixers. But sure. I also agree with them. It's like, if I could put one of them on the Knicks, it's got to be Embiid, bro. Like, that personality and he can still ball in New York would go fucking crazy, bro. I would absolutely love that. But I mean, like, they're so similar, you know what I mean? They're so similar, they're so different. But like, Jokic's got a little bit of the pass game, you know what I mean? Embiid's more of a back it down and do a fadeaway. Jokic's more of like a hook shot guy. Like, they're so different but so similar. But like, Jokic will probably end up winning MVP. But if you could give me one, I'm taking Embiid in New York all day, bro. That would be wild.
I've never seen a 7-footer Euro step like Embiid. Like, this guy's footwork is crazy. Now that he's fully healthy, it's kind of wild. Like, it doesn't seem like he should be able to be that athletic. And he is super athletic, man. Like, he's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of when you were talking about him on the Knicks, it was giving me flashbacks to what maybe the Knicks thought Amari Stoudemire could have been for their team. He did have crazy statistical years, but he was kind of the Knicks were never good with him. Like, they were never good with Amari.
Nope, sadly not.
I'm seeing a lot of the game, other than obviously Embiid's a better outside shooter. Like, I'm seeing a lot of similarities between prime Amari Stoudemire and Joel Embiid.
Right.
But it was just a different league back then.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Nick, who would you take if you had to pick between these two guys, and who do you think is having the better year or whatever, better influence on their team?
I've heard a lot about Embiid all year, so I'll probably go with, like, on the year. I think a lot of people, just in general, it seems like Embiid's on the court, he's just kind of like fun to watch, and he's putting up crazy numbers. So I think probably I go with Embiid on the year. Yeah. I could be wrong here, because y'all can correct me, but like, as far as like taking him as like a franchise and putting him on your squad, I mean, is he cool now? Didn't he get injured a lot? Like,
he did
at the beginning of his career. But we're cool now, right? Like, he's pretty much staying healthy now, or
hurt now, low key.
Is he hurt? Yeah. So I think Cole was saying like Embiid's tough, like he wants him on the Knicks because he's tough, gets down and gritty. But then don't you a big guy though? Wouldn't you want him kind of to stay healthy? I mean, you want that big guy on the court as much as possible. So it seems like if Jokic's kind of passing the ball, staying out of the post, staying kind of light on the court, not maybe getting down, and you know what I mean? So I'd probably, as a franchise, take Jokic just because it seems like maybe longevity. It seems like that dude could maybe be around for a long time. Like,
and I don't have the stats in front of me right now, but I'm like, what you're saying about preserving them. Like, I bet you if you look at the average, minutes played of like a starting point guard versus a starting center, that the center is like guys like Valanciunas, who's like a mid-range guy that I used to be on the route. He'll top out at 30 minutes a game. They're not playing him more than 30 minutes a game at his size. Like, Embiid is probably playing a lot of minutes right now, but like, honestly, from all the guys I know, I have a good friend of mine who's like 6'9", played center at like one of the Canadian colleges here, and got to play against some schools in the States too. And he was a walking injury. Like, the foot injuries you have as a big guy, the concussions you get as a big guy, like, because he was always getting injuries like coming down on rebounds and like getting clocked in his chin. That like these big guys are constantly dealing with injuries. That the human body is not really made to be 7 feet tall, to be honest. So.
Effortless maybe is the word I'm looking for. Like, Jokic is a little more effortless with how he's on the court, whereas like Embiid, you can tell he's working for it a little bit harder, maybe because they play differently. So like maybe he's just working a little bit harder for it.
Absolutely, and then like back issues always become an issue for these guys too. Like it's hard to think of a Hall of Fame big man who never had significant periods where they had to sit out with injury. Like Tim Duncan might be one, but like.
I was gonna bring him up actually. I wasn't sure if he got
like
hurt.
Shaq later on had injuries, but like. I don't know, man. A lot like guys like Bill Walton, all these guys had massive injury problems down the road. Look at Greg Oden, man. The guy can barely walk. It's sad to see what these big guys become. DK, what about you? What's your take on Embiid versus Jokic? I think I already know, but I'm interested to hear you argue it.
Kind of similar to Nick, actually. So if I had to choose an MVP right now, it would be Embiid, because just what he did without Harden, that was some of the craziest games that I was watching, and just he looked similar to Giannis.
Yeah,
dribbling the ball, bringing it up, hulking,
crazy,
just without anybody being able to stop him. He was just shooting threes.
Yeah,
he kind of like eased up on a lot of that because now he has Harden. But I don't know. This year and not to take anything away from Jokic, 35 minutes a game, playing almost the entire game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. But I would say to start a franchise, though, I don't know. Like, if Jokic brings the whole package, I guess. I don't.
Yeah.
For me, being that he gets 15 rebounds a game, so he wants to rebound.
Yeah.
He could give you 30. He could shoot the three. They could both shoot the three pretty well.
Yep.
Yeah. For sure. It's funny. It's funny what Nick brought up, and then what DK was kind of reiterating too, like the idea that Jokic effortlessly puts up this crazy PER and these crazy stats. It's like you plug him on any roster, he's gonna be a triple-double machine, and he doesn't even look like he's sweating at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas Embiid,
it's like that in every sport, I feel like.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, whereas Embiid, you're right, like he's working his tail off. He's like expending a lot of energy to be the number one guy on the court. Like that's why I respect him. That's why I think he should be an MVP, because he is playing his tail off this year.
Hell yeah.
Jokic, I think, is gonna. I'm interested to see where his career goes, because this guy he's doing the absolute least on the court, but with the most impressive results. I don't know, like it's just which is a crazy skill set in its own right. He's kind of like a throwback player who just has that amazing court vision as well,
cool.
which you don't often see from like a big guy. But yeah, definitely some good takes on there. I think both of them had a great season, and like I said, like it's a guard-dominated league now, so to see two guys, I'm not saying that these are the number 1 and 2 candidates for MVP. I think there's other candidates out there too. I just want to see, of the big men, who's at the top of the pedestal right now. But boys, man, that's kind of the gamut of the questions I wanted to run through here. We've been going for like an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes on the podcast, and you guys did an amazing job running through here. But for anybody who's in the chat right now, and I know it's a lot of guys from DK's community, a lot of guys from Nick, Kov, Geezy's communities in here. Can you give us a little rundown about what you're doing on your stream right now? What direction the content's taken for you, and just tell people a little bit about yourselves before we sign off here. DK, tell us where you're at right now. What are you grinding on stream right now? What's the direction?
Yeah. With of course, it being like, I guess you could say Madden off season, if you will. Still Madden, maybe a couple hours not every day, but just as much as as much as I could bear.
For sure.
And then right to MLB. MLB now.
How are you liking MLB so far? Are you adjusting to it fairly well? You play a lot of it last year too?
No, I didn't even get the chance to. We were kind of, whoever, decided to play competitive last year. The last chance qualifier was kind of going around like during April. So like I wanted to play it, but it just
you missed the hype week. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, and then I'm so far behind by about time May comes around. So I was like,
exactly. You having fun with it though? Like, are you enjoying the game so far?
Yeah, it's super fun. It's nice to just learn something new and try to get good at it. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a fun game. I'm enjoying the packs of MLB The Show. Gameplay, I'm terrible. Bro, I'm re-rolling. I got the whatever the expensive version is. I got the 25,000 stubs, and I've been re-rolling that stuff like for days, and I just get crazy pack luck. I don't know why. The sad thing is, once I build myself a good team, I'm not gonna play the game at all, and I got to give somebody my account afterwards. It's almost a shame. Geezy, what are you doing now? I've seen you doing some competitive Wordle on stream lately. I
don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
What does a pro Madden player do in the off season?
Dude, normally you play money games and you keep playing Madden so you can get better. And this year, this game is fucking unbearable at times. Yeah. Like, there's no way I can play this on I stream about 5 days a week. I can't do that shit for that long. It's just, I can't. Yeah. So, I've been playing Regs money games because I think that mode is better than MUT. I don't know. MUT's just horrible to me. I've been doing Wordle, tier list, quizzes, MLB. Who knows? We'll probably play Fortnite here this week.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, but we're doing shit.
Fuck me.
Let's go, Geezy. Hey, man, as long as you're booting up streams, you guys will all find there might be a little dip initially, but your community loves you guys, so they're gonna be around no matter what you do. Maybe a few less here and there, but maybe you'll meet some new people too. Maybe you'll meet some of the competitive Fortnite crowd. You never know, Geezy. You're still young. You got time to figure this thing out. Yeah. Kov, you've I noticed that you didn't play 4 weekend leagues the last couple weeks.
I didn't.
Is everything okay?
No.
Is everything okay?
It'll be back this weekend. I knew MLB came out this weekend, so I know the hype is kind of centered around that and doing all that kind of fun stuff. But I'm excited, man, knowing that like I have something to do on a Tuesday night other than sit there and play head to head that nobody wants to see me fucking play. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so now
sir.
it's like if I want to boot up on a Tuesday night, Wednesday, I have something to do every single night, whether it's MLB ranked grind or it's BR or wagers on that, because wagering on MLB is a lot more fun than I think it is on Madden. Because it's so like up in the air, like how games can go. And then I'm still gonna be doing weekend league on on the weekends, and it's just exciting. We have 4 long months to Madden 23, but I think I can speak for all 5 of us, or 4 of us, that we're super excited bringing the communities we have into Madden 23, and I think that's something we can all kind of hold on to, and just get through these next 4 long months. I'm just glad I have MLB to kind of slowly push me along here and give me something to do at least every day of some sort. Throughout the next few months, and we just when M23 drops, we're gonna be going crazy. So.
Absolutely. It's just nice to log into a different menu. Like, honestly, like, there's something nice about it. Like, I'm so sick of seeing Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes on the freaking loading screen. I can't, you can only do it for so long, man. But I still love Madden, still have fun with Madden occasionally.
But
it's,
I
it's
enjoy
nice to
Madden.
have
Even
some
like
variety.
before MLB came out, I was still like having those multiple weekend leagues and getting like the feeling of top 100 again was still like, this is why I do it. And, there's other Madden streamers that think that if you're not going 25-0 every weekend, there's no point in playing weekend league. Well, I'm out here trying to just get some sort of like gratification for playing the game as much as I played it this year. And if getting top 100 on a couple accounts is that gratification, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'll be doing it into Madden 23 as well. So you gotta find that little ground of like, even though it's awful, like this has been the worst Madden of all time, worst Madden of all time. But people still love Madden. People are always gonna love Madden. It's probably gonna be worse next year, guys. So buckle up. So just find enjoyment with it, man. Find enjoyment with it, because the fact that all of us have had success just sitting here and playing Madden, whether we're at a crazy comp level like Easy is, or like me and Nick just getting drunk as shit, just playing the game to have fun. Like there's so many different levels to how you can play the game and have fun, and the people you meet along the way. So it's like, let's just enjoy the ride for what it is, man.
As long as you guys don't talk about what level I'm at, because I can guarantee you that I get
You're
flooded by all
right
4 of
here.
you guys, and it isn't even close. I'm not even gonna lie, I get flooded.
More floods,
bro. Get out of here. I have yet to win a game on current gen against any of you, or on whatever the current gen is at the time.
Bro,
I've yet to beat any of you
I
guys.
can't beat Murph on old gen though. I've played him like 5 times. I can never.
I
win.
own Kov on old gen, bro. It's disgusting.
shot.
Oh my god, yeah. It's
I can't beat him
season.
on old gen. He's nasty, bro.
Yeah,
that bunch shit.
I'm gonna be terrible as soon as like a more skill based mode comes
Murph
around.
runs my Madden 21 ebook.
I am.
The same 3 plays.
The September one.
Set one of them upright.
Bro, wait, which one am I not setting upright? Is it bench pivot? No, come on. I know. Hey,
Dude,
if it works.
I told you to run verticals in Madden 21 with a streak because
Yeah,
you used to
yeah.
like beat match.
Yeah, I
No,
still do.
it doesn't. You don't give a fuck. It could be cover 2, cover 1.
Are you
Doesn't
telling me
matter.
I'm supposed to put the wheel on that one again? Like I'm supposed to leave the wheel? Oh
Just
my god.
leave the wheel, dude.
Bro, okay,
I
this
don't know,
is it's the
The
works.
thing I don't
It's
see
the
is, like,
works.
I don't know what the hell Madden and EA are thinking. Like they just had their biggest competition with MLB The Show, right? Taking a lot of people away, everyone trying it out and going away from Madden. It's like, and then you drop these Ultimate Legends. It's like, dude, nobody even knows who the fuck these guys are. You know what I mean? I wish, like, if we have 4 months left of this game for the guys like Yeezy who are mostly still gonna play Madden. A lot of you guys, for the most part, I imagine Nick's gonna still mostly play Madden.
I'm gonna play
I'll
mostly
still have time on
Madden.
Madden.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want us to do? Like, are you gonna give us all Madden seasons and during the summer? Like,
Can we?
Whoa,
Why
that's
do
gonna be fun.
Bro, why do we
Little too
not
late.
have? This is what makes no sense. Why do we not have all Madden seasons in August? Because that's literally the mode that you play in comp. Why is there not a mode that you can play and randomly match up with people without having to fucking set up a lab session? It makes no sense. I'm not confident. It doesn't make any sense to me.
This is why I think, I don't know, DK, I think you could probably chime into this as well. I think the reason why we don't get all Madden seasons right away is because the thresholds are lower on all Madden. So if we were able to play all Madden, that means we don't have to have the newest cards, where if we're playing on all pro, the thresholds, you have to have them a little bit higher.
So you make the money, you make coins, and then you don't have to buy packs. That's
my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Bro,
do you really think the EA devs really take that into, like, full thought? Do you really think they're breaking it down like that? Because they're idiots.
EA might be a straight up like money making, like that literally might be the only thing that developers take into account. How can we profit off of this card that we're about to release? Like I the more I think about it, the more I'm like, damn, it might be sinister, man. I don't know, but either way, like all Madden seasons made it fun for me. Like later on in the year, I enjoyed it. It was a much better game, much more less stupid shit happening.
It's like, but at the same time, I haven't spent money on Madden in months. Like I haven't.
Oh yeah.
To. I don't know about you guys, but like, there's no
No.
need to even spend money on this game anymore. Like, why would you? You know what I mean? So it's like, why not just? Are they just like squeezing out whatever money they can get left?
Yeah.
Like it's like.
It might not even be money. I mean, dude, there is shit that has need to be patched since November that still isn't patched. Like, I don't even think it comes down to the point of, making money or whatever. I think it's just pure laziness. I mean, we have the smoke screen glitch that's still there. Streaks are still glitched. I can still do my flip streak. That should never be a thing.
Yeah. You mean you can still do Zan's flip streak? Not yours.
Yeah, Zan's flip streak. My bad.
I mean, zones aren't like awful, but they definitely aren't great still. I don't understand. And like even just stuff like that, they could just add like right now. Like, why do we not have like color rush uniforms? Like,
bro, it's so stupid. Why do we not?
Why
have...
are contains not fixed? I mean, there's a lot.
Have it. Like, I just don't understand. Like, scenes that were in previous years should be in the game, and then you add some. Like, I don't know what.
We need creatable uniforms in Madden, in MUT. We need creatable uniforms like MLB The Show. I know that there's a lot of like stuff that's like sus that can come from it.
That mode hasn't been updated.
Hasn't been updated once.
Bro, it's not. Oh yeah, even Retro Yimmy was talking about this the other day. Yeah, as a guy who plays like with his brother-in-law, like he wants to get a casual game in, and the guy can't grind MUT. So like MUT draft, that was so much fun in previous years doing MUT draft or like play a friend in MUT draft. Like the fact that you have to play with like 84 team builder quarterbacks is so stupid.
Yeah,
like,
and it used
that
to be
just
in
proves
the
to me that
too.
It's like the only fun, no money spent mode that you can play for a casual who really doesn't grind Madden. It's not their primary game, and they took it out. So I mean,
I don't get it.
I know,
there's
but
just a lot. Like, there's salary cap, bro. No one plays that mode. Why is that still in the game?
That was the most fun for me as a viewer. Like, I don't get like super into comp, but I used to love watching guys build their salary cap rosters. I thought that was super cool. It allows you to play a different style. It's the only thing that encourages you to do different styles because
you have to use your brain because you don't have access to every single card in the game. And honestly, I think that makes competitive Madden worse because now I can go lose the ultimate supersonic 28 in head-to-head. I was going to say an actual person, but I think that guy is actually a cool dude, so I'm going to stop right there. So I had to make up something on the spot.
There you go.
But, like, he has access to every single card. And it's like he can do whatever he wants. Where, like, in salary cap, you had your scheme. Yeah. You built around your scheme, and you went in there with that. Like, you can't do everything with your salary cap team. I mean, dude, there's just a lot.
It's just the skill gap is at an all-time, like, there's no skill gap. Like, it's at an all-time low. Like, you really can be dog shit at this game and win games. It's insane.
If I don't have 100% focus on my monitor, I have an opportunity to lose to anybody.
Yeah, 100%. Except for me. NickOC, you're the last one we haven't given you a chance to tell us what's going on. I was in your streamer earlier this morning, actually, and you were grinding. You were getting some viewer games. People were sniping you. Was it Superstar KO you were playing today?
Oh, my God.
I was in there. I was in there, but I was like fucking. I had a terrible
nasty,
sleep.
Murph.
It is
nasty.
We all know, boys. Madden off season's nasty. It was last night, and I'm gonna apologize because sometimes I get a little too rowdy, and like I know he was just trying to give me a game.
Yeah.
Dude played like a pussy. Regardless,
it was Tebow time. It was Tebow time, man.
It's a long, it's a long off season, but I'm locking in. I don't know, man. I downloaded MLB for the boys because I know like everybody's playing it, but like on stream it's gonna be Madden.
Yeah.
I gotta sprinkle a little NCAA in there just because I love playing NCAA. So like.
Yeah.
Where I play it off stream. Like if you play a game off stream, you like the game.
Bro.
Like, I'll play a little NCAA.
Exactly. Who the
I
fuck
love
is playing
NCAA
off stream?
Yeah,
Who played Madden off stream?
Well, with a purpose. With a purpose, though. Like, there's money on the line.
Bro, I like playing Madden first thing in the morning. I play 2 games of Madden head-to-head every morning when I wake up at like 5 a.m. I drink my morning coffee. I play Madden.
No way. If you do that, you're a sicko.
Bro, if I go 0-2, I have a terrible day. I don't know why I do it to myself. Like, there's only
you can go 2-0 and have a fucking terrible day.
No, you're right. You're right. Bro, it's nasty. Like, today I was like, okay, I think I lost my first game. The second game I played like a shitter, but he like, did all this stuff where he throws it back into his own end zone, so it takes forever to play the game. I was like, God damn, I can't even milk against this dude. So you're right. I took a dub, and I I took a bigger L. Madden is just tough to have fun, man. But Nick, you're gonna keep going with Madden strong and
yeah. Long story short, we're gonna find ways. Like I don't know, like I'm that guy where it's like, you know what, like if there's a fucking cheat in the game, I'm gonna use the cheat. Like absolutely. I play the game every day. I wanna read my chat before we play the game at this point. So like whatever makes my life easier on stream, I don't care what your view of it is. I don't care if you don't like that I roll out and glitch you. Like I'm streaming this every day for 6 hours, so whatever makes my life easier and I can involve my chat and talk to my chat, that's what I'm gonna do. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, and we're gonna stream a little NCAA when I just can't handle it no more. Like when I'm literally gonna lose my mind and I'm not catching picks that I should catch. That stuff, we'll flip it to NCAA for a little bit or something. So 100%. That's pretty much my game plan for the Madden
definitely the most entertaining non-comp guy on Twitch. I just want to say that.
Oh yeah,
you and me. Hell yeah, appreciate it, boys.
No, you guys are freaking legends, man. I had a blast having you on the show. Even just doing the final rundown, man. Opinions just keep coming out. We talked a bit more Madden than I even thought we would. We can't escape it though, boys. Trust me. In a couple months away from playing this game, we're gonna want to get back to Madden.
We're all gonna be hungry. Give it till July. Yeah. We're gonna be begging them to release Madden 23 on the
once those golden tickets start to sprinkle in, we're gonna get drawn in. Trust me, they're gonna suck us back in, boys. Trust me. Big Norm of the Raid, appreciate you, boys. Thank you so much for being on tonight. You guys are all legends. I think I had such a blast doing this. I want to get this thing up on YouTube tonight. So I'm gonna watch the Raptors game off stream and then get this thing up on YouTube stat.